Yo, listen up. Today, we will be discussing political parties and political participation. This all presented to you by the A Team. We're going to go over the history of political parties, what political parties are, and how voter participation affects political parties. Okay, so a political party is an independent organization that exists at a national, state, and local level. America is known for its two parties, which are the Democrats and Republicans. In parties, de-alignment is when voters move to nonpartisanships, and realignment is when a shift in party allegiance is due to change in policy.
The first formation of parties occurred when the Constitution was first drafted. Not everyone agreed with it and therefore split the country into two political parties known as the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, those who believed in strong central government and those for states' rights. Once the Constitution was ratified, Anti-Federalists eventually formed into Democratic Republicans under Thomas Jefferson.
The Republican Party is one of two major political parties in the United States. It emerged in the 1850s as an anti-slavery party and consisted of former Northern Whigs and anti-slavery Democrats. The first Republican president was Abraham Lincoln, who was known for his support of abolition. Today, members of the GOP tend to lean right with conservative beliefs. The Democratic Party is the second of two major political parties in the United States. It was founded around 1828 and traces its roots to Jefferson and Madison's Democratic Republican Party. The first Democratic president was Andrew Jackson, who focused on the issue of universal white male suffrage. Today, the Democratic Party promotes a social liberal platform. Virtual politics is concerned with online activism and the online communication and spread of political ideas. Virtual politics can occur on any type of media, including news sites, social media sites like Twitter or Facebook, or other politics-driven websites. A notable example of such an online organization's website is MoveOn.org.
Democrats are more keen to government regulation on the economy, such as minimum wage and progressive tax. They also agree with welfare programs, for they believe in social responsibility. Republicans are more interested in laissez-faire economics with no regulation. However, they do believe in increased spending for the military and are stricter on social issues, for they are proponents of an individual's independency, pro-life, and the death penalty. Democrats feel the need for regulation to protect consumers and that it should pour over to healthcare where it can be universally provided. Republicans are more focused with capitalism and believe private companies are more efficient in providing any financial medical needs. As for immigration, Democrats are likely to want to offer a pathway to certain undocumented immigrants.
Interest groups, also known as lobbyists, encourage public policy changes without trying to be elected. They give money to the party that best supports their interests. Examples of interest groups that we may know are the NAACP, AARP, ACLU, and the biggest interest group, AFL-CIO. They also provide funding for campaigns.
Past election research shows that college graduates were more likely to vote over a high school dropout. Churchgoers were more likely to vote since many voting stations were set at churches. Blacks and minorities were less likely to vote than whites, and lastly, difficulty of registering got easier as turnout declined. One main cause of low voter turnout is due to the fact that young voters don't trust political leaders, and they feel that both parties serve the same purpose. Another reason is that young voters have the lowest voter turnout than any other age group when voting. One factor that has no effect on voter participation is gender. Gender has no effect, and men aren't more likely to vote than women. Another factor is how some people don't trust our government. And lastly, parties have no effect on voter participation.
The history of suffrage reflects increased opportunities to vote for minorities and women. By the 1800s, religious qualifications were eliminated, and the Voting Rights Act of 1964 and 1965 increased voting opportunities. Literacy tests were outlawed after the Voting Rights Act of 1970, and court decisions deemed it unconstitutional. The most important agent of socialization is family. Others include religion, school, and friends. Friends usually have influence much later on in a person's life. Media bias influences voters as well. If someone grows up watching Fox News, they'll probably be a conservative voter. Different factors influence how people vote, such as race and gender. States like California have an open primary, which is beneficial because it doesn't limit a person to their specific party. They can vote for anyone from any party. Closed primaries limit a voter to their associated party, meaning they can only vote for someone from their party. Ticket splitting is where someone votes for two or more people from different parties.